China on Friday ripped the U.S. following the Department of Justice charging two hackers linked to China's intelligence and security agency for their involvement in a decade-long cyber espionage campaign against companies in the United States and around the world. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying, how you pronounce these names, said the Chinese government has never participated in or supported anyone in stealing trade secrets in any way. Let me say a little envoy. The U.S. is a world superpower and it's quite arrogant and selfish, she said during a regular press briefing, according to the Associated Press. O'Donoghue, please don't come in here with all the alternate accounts. Please. This is actually relatively significant. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and the other DOJ officials on Thursday announced the indictment of Chinese nationals Zhua ZHU, last name HUA, and Shang Shilong for allegedly compromising companies across many industries in the U.S. and at least 11 other countries by targeting managed service providers which hold intellectual property and other sensitive business information. The kind of information that we are talking about here is confidential information and by definition valuable, very valuable information for these companies, FBI Director Christopher Wray said. Officials said the hacking violated the 2015 deal meant to halt cyber-enabled theft of intellectual property. The activity alleged in this indictment violates the commitment that China made to members of the international community. Rosenstein said, "We want China to cease its illegal cyber activities and honor its commitment to the international community." No, well, O'Donoghue, this action, for all we know, doesn't involve Trump. I was actually going to read the book of this article and then talk about what else has happened with China since Trump took office, kind of to give you some context of how there's an overarching theme with his administration where he either tries to be peaceful or otherwise non-combative with another country. And then some department of his just completely reverses that. If you remember, we had I'm sure you remember the North Korean summit with Kim Jong-un. It was this big deal because it was the first time ever a U.S. president, a North Korean leader had, met officially. And there was, months later, after having this supposed step forward in terms of getting close to denuclearization and peace and whatnot, what do we have in November, or rather earlier this month? The Treasury Department put sanctions on top North Korean officials. And in North Korea's, I believe it was their foreign minister, or someone in power said, I thought you guys wanted peace. What's going on here? So it's that kind of thing, cycle that, I'm hoping to kind of explain to you how that relates to this. There's a running theme of Trump having decent relations with someone and then someone else saying screw that and doing another thing. And unfortunately, because there are so many countries that are a big deal or of some significance, he can't always be on top of it. And sometimes that's a good thing too. So during Trump's campaign, he accused China of manipulating currency and pledged to carry out swift, robust, and unequivocal action against their piracy, as well as their counterfeiting of American goods and theft of trade secrets and intellectual property. So that alone suggests that this is in line with the position he had 2 years ago. What I find so interesting about this story is that you have so many people who to this day will talk about, oh, I'm so sick of the people in these other countries doing this stuff to us. Or rather, anytime it seems the U.S. gets on a soapbox and talks about honoring agreements and please do this, I can't even take them seriously because we to this day have broken international law with the Saudi Yemen war because we sell them those cluster bombs, which are violating of what is policy outside of the U.S. just with complete lack of care or concern for what the rest of the world thinks of us. And that's why it's irony, basically. I could have sworn earlier this year there was some talk of a trade war, and that every country we're feuding with, no matter what. Jesus. Taliban still controls Afghanistan. Of course it does. After 17 years of us wasting trillions of dollars and thousands of lives. That actually probably would have been a more interesting story to talk about because the administration is supposedly planning on reducing the number of troops in Afghanistan in half. So from 14,000 to 7,000. I'd rather they just take everybody out, but I'll take what I can get. But it's another one of those little half measures where if you say, "Oh, I'm so happy that they've done half, they've taken half of them out," people will go, "Well, yeah, this is a great accomplishment." I mean, no, it's not an accomplishment; it's a good thing. But the accomplishment will be when you get everyone out of there. And if I really wish C-SPAN didn't do their little thing of deleting their stream, not streams, the Washington Journal, because they had this guy on there. His name is Mark Ginsburg, and he is Jesus. I have never seen a warmonger more suitably dressed than before today. I mean, that man sat up there and was like, "Yeah, stupid to get out of Syria, it's dumb." Did you see TJ video about? I did not. Let me see here. Okay, last year Mattis went to Japan and reaffirmed their. Wait, is this China? Yeah. So they were getting mixed up in international stuff. I just have mixed feelings towards this particular policy because if they're actually hacking or messing with our information, it's important to go after them. But um, do we need a conflict with another person? And again, the U.S. always does this thing now where it pretends it doesn't have any dirt on its hands when it comes to interfering with other countries and their practices. We mentioned during the Syria stream about the U.S. with under the CIA in 1953 overthrowing Iran's government, its democratically elected leader. But again, if you listen to any of the speeches that Trump gives, whether it's about China or somewhere else, it's always we have to go after and protect ourselves and stop the invaders from doing things to us. We're doing things to everybody else. Is the point I'm making? Where'd Envoy go? Did he disappear? Hope he didn't vanish. Anyways, if you guys are bored, I'll cut it off early. I just think the story is pretty interesting. So, thank you.